Well, gosh, that movie was perfect. Up to the third act. Logan, released in 2017 and is directed by James Mangold, who's also behind such films like Kate and Leopold, Walk the Line, 3:10 to Yuma, The Wolverine, and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And this film, of course, is starring Hugh Jackman. That is where this film was billed around. It was his swan song for the character of Wolverine / Logan. Well, of course, up until this year when we're getting Deadpool and Wolverine. So, you know, money talks, I guess. But it's also starring Patrick Stewart, Richard E. Grant, Boyd Holbrook, Stephen Merchant, and Daphne Keane. In the not-so-distant future, Logan is suffering an illness from the adamantium that is inside of his body that is slowly killing him and dampening his mutant powers to where he doesn't heal as fast, and his claws kind of come out like halfway and stuff. And he's constantly working as a limousine driver to hopefully one day purchase a boat so that he can take Charles Xavier and himself out into the middle of the ocean and hopefully live happily ever after. But that is only a pipe dream until a woman comes up with a mission to save the little girl who is following her, because she is a mutant herself. But of course, some evil guys in black trucks and black suits are following her. So now Logan, Charles Xavier, and the little girl Laura go on the run and hopefully finding a great place to hide out. So I remember when this film was announced and it was happening, we were doing the whole Wolverine trilogy. James Mangold already directed The Wolverine, which came out in 2013, which is actually a great film. And not enough people talk about The Wolverine being a great superhero film and comic book film. It is a beautiful movie. So with him directing the sequel to The Wolverine, I guess the third entry in this Wolverine trilogy, I was very excited. And it was also exciting to learn that Hugh Jackman was going to be hanging up the claws when it came to this movie. This was going to be his last hurrah, because just the body transformation that you see him go through over the last 20 years in this role is insane, and I'm sure is insane to keep up with. So he's getting older, and it made sense. Yes, you should stop playing Wolverine at some point so that you can enjoy your life and you can actually eat food that is tasty and delicious. But then I know in recent interviews he said he announced that, and then like a month later the movie Deadpool came out and he was like, oh, damn it, motherfucker. Shouldn't have said that because I want to do a movie with Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. Which of course is why we're getting Deadpool and Wolverine later this year, which is why we're talking about Logan now. Because many people out there would say this is one of the greatest superhero films or movies about a superhero that has ever been made. And you know what? I would agree with you for the first 2/3 of this film. The story here and the pacing is unlike any superhero comic book film that we have seen in the last 20-30 years. It presents itself like a western. It is slow paced. The energy is very dire. We have a Charles Xavier who has been the poster boy of the X-Men franchise, who always knows what's to do and is always in a position of authority. And here he is with dementia. The person with the most powerful brain on the planet now can't control it. Therefore, he is a weapon of mass destruction. And it's up to Logan to make sure that he is contained and that he is safe and that he is medicated. And they never explain what all happened with the rest of the X-Men. There's definitely a sense that, something did happen with Charles and he did something when he first started getting dementia, but they never fully tell you what it is. And I really do appreciate that. Leave it to the audience to generate the imaginative story in their brain. I love that. And Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart are by far the best thing about this movie, of course. Of course Hugh Jackman is. You can tell all the love and passion that he's putting behind this. This is a great performance of his. This is an older Logan. He's not healing. This guy has been around for hundreds of years and he's always been able to heal and bounce back. And here he is with bullet wounds and bullet holes that are getting infected and are still showing visible. His clothes are bloody all the time. And Patrick Stewart, who has also been Charles Xavier the entire time that Hugh Jackman has been Wolverine. He has been Charles Xavier, and he's wonderful here too, to see the crumbling of this figure into this person who's just desperate, what he does with his voice and how he makes him so, I mean, the word is pathetic and old and frail. It's wonderful. These are two beautiful performances in here. The one performance that drove me crazy, and the reason why I can't give this like a perfect score and say it's one of the best superhero films of all time, is Daphne Keane as Laura, who we later find out is X-23. She's fine when she doesn't talk. So in the first 2 acts, she's great. But then when she opens her mouth and she starts talking and delivers dialogue, and she's there at Logan's side as he's passing away, just going, It was fucking annoying. And I was thinking, maybe I'm the only one, because everyone else is talking about how great this movie is. But no, I saw this movie with my wife. We were in theaters. And yeah, we felt the same way. Like, gosh, that little girl is so fucking annoying. Not to mention, on a personal note, that my movie-going experience with this movie in the theater was not the best. There was a bunch of teenage boys who kept laughing at the inappropriate parts. They were actually laughing while Logan was passing away and dying. They were laughing at the other kid mutants out there. It's experiences like that that makes me really appreciate streaming and allows me to feel the emotion and feel the story on my own time and not in regards to other assholes who were in the theater. But even so, watching this film in the comfort of my own home for this review, I still hated her performance. She was annoying. And I don't understand where people are coming from who loved her in this movie. I just don't get it. And that whole third act of where this story was going, randomly saving this small group of kids who were trying to cross the border. Whatever the border is, I don't know, but if they cross the border, they'll be safe. And even the bad guys who were chasing them were saying, like, oh, if they cross the border, we gotta get them before they cross the border. What the fuck is the border? Why is the border important? It's never stopped anyone before. Taking 1 foot across a makeshift border doesn't necessarily make you safe. Why is this important? And I understand it looks good on paper, and I like the intention of taking this mythical figure of the Wolverine, this character that we've seen in all these superhero films that had these world-ending climaxes. Here we have this character, and it's not about saving the world. It's about saving, like, 10 people, maybe. I love that idea, and I think it looks great on paper. It's just the 10 people that he's saving and how he gets there, I just wasn't a fan of. The whole third act to get Logan from one place to another is to have him faint. And then he wakes up and he's in a new place. And then he has to go a little bit further, so he faints and then he's automatically there. Like, come on, can we stop this? We've used this trope like 4 or 5 times in this movie already. Please stop. I'm serious. The second that X-23 opens her mouth and starts talking in that car, this movie loses it for me. Up until that point, I am loving this movie. I'm loving the slow pace. I'm loving the performances that we get in here. I love the emotional weight that a lot of these scenes have. I love the family that they help out with the horses, and then they get to share a meal and share a bed with for a couple of hours. All of that. I love all of it. It's just when that stupid kid opens her mouth, this film is just ruined for me. And I am very curious to see how Deadpool and Wolverine will have an effect on the legacy of this movie, because that's what this movie was known for. This was Hugh Jackman's last performance as Wolverine, but here he is coming back for a sequel in the MCU under Disney, under Kevin Feige. So I'm wondering how that movie is going to play into the legacy of this film. Again, Logan doesn't really have any connection to the previous X-Men movies. We don't know if it's on the same timeline. We don't know if it's on the same timeline that is sprouted after the end of Days of Future Past. We don't know if it's on that one or just a random one altogether. That was the whole thing about Fox and X-Men and continuity. They didn't give a shit. But for now, because I haven't seen Deadpool and Wolverine, I do think this is a wonderful outing for Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Even with that third act happening, I still think this is a lovely passion project of his, and he gives a wonderful performance. I'm still excited, though, to see him in the MCU. I really am. And I really hope this isn't the last outing for him. Hopefully he's in an Avengers film, because I would love to see him with Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, and all those guys. I'm going to give Logan 4 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I like it a lot.
So guys, have you seen Logan? What did you think about it? What is your ranking of all the other Wolverine films? And hell, on top of that, what is your ranking of all the other X-Men movies? Whatever you thought, comment below and let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. See you all the next time I release my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel. But in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.